Oh my God, it's the man.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, Paul.
You ready?
Yeah. How's this?
Much better.
Listen, don't get me started.
Hi, Carlos. Hi, Rhonda.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good. Why don't we do this backwards? Why don't we do this completely different than all the other ones? Why don't you start with the questions and I'll end with them?
That sounds great. Do you want me to start with them right now?
I'm yours.
Top of the day. I love it. Just a man of action. I love that about you. What was your first guitar, Paul?
Oh, Rhonda.
I know.
My mother used to play folk songs. And she would play them and we'd sing them. She had a nylon string guitar. Our house got broken in and it got stolen.
Figures.
And she bought a really cheap nylon string guitar. And that was my first guitar. That one she quit playing. It was called a high-low. It was as cheap a nylon as you could ever have. I had a little 4-string ukulele when I was a really little kid. But my first electric guitar, my first real one was a Rickenbacker or a Melody Maker. And, you know, one of the reasons I started making guitars, Rhonda, is because I couldn't get good ones. And so the only way I could get in the club was to make one. I wasn't allowed in the club. So if you're not allowed in the club and you can't get the gear and you want to be in the musician club, I made something. I didn't have a bass amp. I built it. I used to build folded horn bass cabinets. I was a bass player. You don't know that. So I used
There was
to build
something about
electric
you
voice
that I liked.
illuminators. And I had 2 folded horn cabinets, and they'd rock the house.
Wow. Wow. Well, I like that, and I like that answer, and I like the fact, like I said before, that you're a man of action. See, that's really special. Something bothers you, you see there's a problem, there's a need, you kick down the door and you make it happen. Love that, Paul.
I probably do that. Sorry.
Take the praise, take the praise.
Well,
Okay.
kick the door down is where I was going. Yeah, I probably.
Okay, here's question number 2, kind of fun. I think you might disagree, but let's see. So, past or present, if you could be, and you're going to have to tell me or tell us which one you choose to be, a lead guitar player or a rhythm guitar player in any band that existed or exists now, what would that band be? What band would you be, the guitar player, the lead guitar player, or the rhythm guitar player in, past or present? And which one would you be?
Okay, so
J'aime la
I don't
silence.
call it lead guitar.
Okay.
In my world, that's melodic guitar. In my world, it's the guitar of melody. And the rhythm guitar is the guitar of rhythm and harmony. Quite frankly, I'd love to be the rhythm guitar player in your band with Beck. I'd be really good at it. He doesn't have any idea. It's a difficult thing because there's so many synth sounds that you have to trigger.
Yeah. I
And
never expected you to pick him. That's incredible.
player, the problem is getting a lock, and you know how unbelievably focused I am on that. And if I couldn't get a lock, I'd be really upset.
Yeah.
And I just got out of a music school with the Granger brothers and Dennis Chambers talking about for all week about getting a lock and watching them do that. But I probably enjoy in my body the feeling of being a rhythm guitar player, but there's something beautiful about being able to fly over the top and have melodies run around the room like an eagle flying around the room while somebody else is holding down the bottom.
True.
I don't really want to be restricted to one or the other, but I would have loved to have been the solo guitar player in the Meters. Would have loved to have been the rhythm guitar player in Sly and the Family Stone. I would have loved to do that. My problem is my hearing's really sensitive, and if I had done some of those gigs, I'd be deaf as a doornail. So I'm like Clapton. I would have lost my hearing.
Wow.
So, because my experience with wearing plugs is you don't get a good enough lock. So, you're asking a difficult question. Uh, I got a chance to play three-piece recently and just went nuts. But it's all rhythm guitar player. You know,
Yeah.
the solo part is flying in a different way. You like getting a lock. You enjoy getting a lock. You're good at getting a lock. You've made it very clear that getting a lock is not just a male-dominated thing. And I love that about the way you play. But you're asking a tough question.
Oh, well, I'm glad I got you with a tough one. You ready for another
I'm
one?
not playing rhythm guitar or solo guitar at James Brown's band.
Yeah, that's a good one too. There's a lot of good ones.
I'm not playing solo guitar in Bob Marley's band. I got to play in Chuck Brown's band. Oh my God, that was just nothing but fun.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible. So, Paul, what album changed your life?
Are you experienced?
Mm.
It was extraordinary. It was outside of my paradigm. Changed my life. A whole world opened up to me, and I didn't even want to learn those songs. All the songs I wanted to learn were from other artists, but
Unbelievable.
experientially, oh my God! And to read the book that they knew they had something extraordinary when they dropped that record. They knew. Chaz Chandler talking about the fact that the record was done and they knew it was special and all the other stuff. That book about Hendrix and the recording sessions is extraordinary.
Incredible. Great answer. I mean, I've heard stories, especially from Jeff and other cats, of his era when they remember and talk about that time when Jimmy came over and they all saw him. They all went to that club and they saw him, including Jeff and Evie. You know, it's an incredible story.
I
Just
didn't think
blown
Jeff
away.
Room. All the stories don't mention his name.
Jeff definitely saw him because I remember Jeff telling the stories. They were incredible, incredible stories. You know, and probably half the guys were, you know, threw their axes in the trash, and the other half were just like, oh my God, you know, I'm in for the ride. I'm in for the
You know,
change.
Hendrix,
You know?
he wanted to do that. He wanted to bury them. He went over
Yeah,
the plan to bury them. You
and he
should.
pushed the level way up. Absolutely, he changed everybody. He had a big influence on me also during when I first started playing. Um, Hendrix was great stuff to play in a band, in a trio. You know, it was stuff that just worked. You know,
Most
that you could work on as a kid.
the rhythm section was swinging.
Hmm.
It was, you know, it was swinging. That was a jazz drummer, not a rock drummer.
Yeah, and that was done purposely. Yeah, and it worked.
So is it my turn to ask you a question?
Yeah, let's throw it over to you, Paul.
So are you cognizant of your cog in the wheel of women becoming much more in the forefront of musicians? Are you cognizant of your impact on that now? It's not, you know, stereotypical things going on with bass players. It can be anybody. Are you cognizant of your part of that?
I'd probably say yes and no. Probably a little bit. I mean, there's a huge difference. I could look back in the last 20 years, even the last 30 years in this business, and there's way more females playing everything. There's no question about it. When I first started playing bass, it was very rare. There weren't a lot of females doing it, especially at the age that I was. So Carol Kay stood out at that time. But yeah, you know, like humans, we follow by example, Paul. So definitely, and I would have loved to have been able to see some wicked female players. I guess when I was younger, if I saw some of them, not to saying that some of the ladies aren't, but just pushing the thought and pushing the levels of expertise, like some of the male players did. That probably would have changed me a little bit, also. So yes and no. I kind of don't concentrate on it too much, but yes, I definitely know that I have furrowed through the years, and been in it, and probably, hopefully, I'm at the state where people don't go, oh, she just got it because she's a female, you know,
No.
she's just, you know, she's doing this because, you know, somebody thinks she's cute or something. It has nothing to do with it. I've had really, really long relationships with. Wow, some of the greatest guitar players I think in the world. I've been really, really blessed that way. But
I've
also
had
had the opportunity to work with a lot of great men who really don't see a difference. You know, if you can groove and you can play what they need and you're fun to be with, um, gender's really irrelevant. It really sometimes is the best person for the job, and sometimes, a lot of the times, it's about what's up here too. You know, it's about it's about your person just as much as it's about the instrument that you play too. And
Well,
I try to teach that to the ladies also, that that's really important.
I've had the honor to play with you. I never ever had the thought when we were standing there, that's really good for a woman. Never ever thought anything like that. All I wanted to do was be in the middle of the groove. You
Yeah,
saw
and you
me.
like to stand between the two basses and in the drums. You find a spot, Paul. I know
I'm
you, and
sorry, I
you
liked
just
it,
go
right?
over there and you melt, and you go, "Oh my God,
Yeah,
do you
but watching
feel this?"
Dennis go at it for the first time was fun. That
Yeah,
was fun. And because you know the music, the language of music, and he knows the language of music, it was good from the first second. There was no getting used to anybody, right?
yeah,
But, Rhonda, I think that you have changed the landscape. You're one of the examples brought up all the time. I adore your groove. I'm sorry, now I'm going to be sexist for a second. I've seen you school the boys, and you did not deny it when it happened. The Wizard and Gary and Kevin and all these great bass players all in a room, and
they are so wonderful.
um, you know what Gary said? Gary
What?
Major, he goes, yeah, yeah, she did, because he's not competitive that way. He wants everybody to be on their best game all the time around him. He
Yeah,
knows who he is, and he just wants to see you shine. And if you outplay him, well, more power to you.
you know, works for me. And these are some of the little things that I do that I've always done as a female too, but always done it. It's like when I go in and I play or I get invited to do something great with you. What do I do, Paul? I usually always go in there and I know the music, right? And I think that that's a big thing for people, you know, because that's respect too, and that's showing love and respect for, you know, the opportunity that you're giving into the music too. And I think it comes back when you do that also.
For everybody's information, she came and knew all the tunes cold on the first run through. There wasn't one arrangement learning, nothing. You heard what Dennis said that day. He goes, "What happened, Paul?" And I went, "I got better." He goes, "Yeah, you did." He liked the tunes better than he liked them before, right?
Man, playing with Dennis. Oh my gosh, that was Dennis Chambers. You know, in the past few years, too recently, I've really had an opportunity to play with some really amazing, you know, amazing drummers. So, and for a while, so it's been great. And of course, Dennis is at the top of the heap over there, thanks to you.
So a lot of people don't know, but my experience of you is that music is first, and music is you're like Tim Pierce. Tim Pierce always does the music first, and he'll throw away vacations or anything he has to do to make sure that the music is on time and on spot.
And that's why he has a reputation that he
And
does. You know, and that's why he's working all the time. He's top cream of the crop.
all right, so that was my only question. I just wanted to know if you're cognizant of this incredible movement that's been going on with women and musicianship, and it's not just the odd uh, solo artist. It's now you
Yeah.
see extraordinary support artists all the time.
Yeah, and I'm very aware of it. I'm very aware of it happening and blowing up, and I think it's an absolutely wonderful thing. And you know, the power is female, Paul. You're just gonna have to, you know, accept it. It's bursting out these days.
I begged you for the job to be your instrument maker, and
Well, you are my instrument maker. I love your stuff, and I have some new stuff that I'm going to show you guys probably next week that I think you'll like. I'm not going to say too much about it right now, but it's something special for you with PRS all in it, and I think you're going to love it, and I think Bev's going to love it too. Yep, that's what I think.
so are you okay? All my musicians friends' incomes just got stripped away from just bingo done. So we did this music school. So Gary and Greg and Mia and Dennis, all of us got together and did this. And eventually, I'd like you to be part of the teaching.
Love to.
We have 1,400 people, Rhonda, and I'm inviting you now if you want to be part of the teaching crew for that school. It's been wonderful. I know Tim Pierce and Tyler Larson joined. We
That's
think
right.
Dennis went nuts because you started something during COVID. Nobody started during COVID.
Yeah, and you started something good too. I mean,
1,400 online students, so we think it's going to be double or triple that next year. If you would like,
that's great. I would love to. I would love to.
can I help you with anything else?
Are you okay, Paul? You good?
I say yes, but
Okay. You thought about that for a minute.
yeah, well, COVID makes you walk in circles because
Yeah.
because everything's changed a little bit. I actually am finding a tremendous positive in doing these things because COVID made us do them. I'm finding tremendous positives in our guitars selling real well because they're healing and people are stuck in their houses. I'm
Sure.
positives. I was able to spend 3 weeks working on amps when we were off because I had the time.
Yeah.
I'm finding, my comment is I'm looking for the positives while I'm dealing with the negatives. I think I'm okay, but anybody that says that they're completely beautiful during COVID, it's, you know, how can anybody be okay with that many extra people dying a day? I just
Yeah.
can't.
It's delusional. You're just burying it. Some people bury things differently, though. You know.
Well, what I do is I put it off. I go, okay, I'm not going to deal with it now. When I have the emotional energy to deal with it, I'll deal with it later. I call it uh, emotionally deading. I'll deal with it later, right? But right now, I'm dealing with it straight up, and I don't want to do any of these communications without heart. And I can tell you that you and I know each other well enough to have a really straight conversation, even though we're not in the same room. So, I'll tell people, well, we can do this on the phone. We know each other well enough. We can do it on the phone. And I find that phone calls are less truncated and they seem to be more heart-filled. And, I haven't seen my grandchildren. I haven't held my grandchildren in a while because of COVID and a bunch of other stuff, which we could get into if we share dinner, but that's over for the moment too. So,
And no NAMM show this year. What?
that's over for the moment.
Yeah.
We're going to do this instead. And I think these things are going incredibly well.
I think so too. I think a lot of these things are going to stay too. And I'm very happy for the technology that we're in, right now. It's amazing. It's making a lot of musicians put down their guitar and get a lighting ring and learn about lighting and learn about audio and learn about interfaces and microphones right. That's where I want to stay too. But unfortunately, well, a lot of us have to know how to do video editing now. It's unbelievable, but it is what it is.
If I can help you in any way, give me a call, okay?
Thank you, Paul. Same back at you. I miss you big time. Hope that everything is groovy over there and your family. Everybody's good.
Everybody's okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Miss you. Bye.